Let's have a real conversation, especially for business owners who are in a season of growth. Your business is scaling. You're adding people, you're expanding operations, you're increasing expectations, but something feels a little off. Things may feel a little heavier, more chaotic, more dependent on you more than ever before. And here's the truth. You're scaling your business, but your leadership approach, it hasn't scaled with it. And that's where many businesses do begin to struggle, okay? Because a leadership style that may work when you have 5 employees, it does not work when you reach 15, 25, or even beyond that point. And at a smaller level, listen, you can be involved in everything. You can make every decision, answer every question itself. But as you grow, that model, it does begin to break. And if something doesn't evolve, then you become the bottleneck. Simple as that. So now everything flows through you. Decisions, approvals, problem solving. And what happens is your team becomes more dependent instead of actually empowered. That's not growth. That is actually controlled expansion. And so where do we need to make the shift when we consider this itself? Let's break down some key areas for you to consider. The very first one is decision-making structure. If your team cannot make a decision without you, then you don't have leadership at scale. You need to define what decisions that managers own, what decisions require escalation, what autonomy looks like at every level, because without this, then you are going to stay and remain overloaded. The next key area to focus on is role clarity and accountability. Listen, as teams grow, ambiguity, it becomes expensive. And when roles are not clearly defined, work overlaps, responsibilities get dropped, frustration increases. So every role itself should have clear ownership, defined expectations, and also measurable outcomes. Clarity, it drives performance. Never forget that. Okay, so another area of focus has got to be your leadership layer development. What do I mean by that? Many growing businesses, they typically promote people into management level roles without preparing them to lead. I'm going to tell you the truth. And when this happens, because it does, now we run into a situation where managers, they don't know how to coach, they avoid difficult conversations, and they struggle to actually hold accountability. And this itself, it creates inconsistency across teams. Therefore, you must invest in developing your leadership layer and not just simply assigning it. And the last area of focus is systems before scale. This is where, many businesses sometimes get it wrong. They scale first, then they organize later, and it can't be like that. When we think about sustainable growth, that requires communication structure, performance systems, and operational clarity. And so without it, growth itself, it becomes a stress and not success. Here's what I want you to take away from this. If your business is growing, but things feel harder, more chaotic, more heavier, much more reactive itself, it's not because growth is a problem. It's simply because your leadership structure just hasn't caught up. And here at LH HR Consulting, that's exactly what we help businesses, do and address. We work with leaders to strengthen the leadership capacity, to build scalable systems, to develop management layers, and also create clarity across their teams. When we think about scaling, it isn't just about increasing revenue. It's about building a business that can actually function and thrive beyond you. So if this resonated, then like, share, leave me a comment, and make sure to subscribe and follow along for the remainder of the series itself, where I'm going to be breaking down what leaders are getting wrong right now, but also how to fix it, because there is always a solution to any problem that we have. Let's build